in this ministry, my ministry has been directly teaching those with, they've got physical disabilities but not mental disabilities. They can understand everything I say. There is a variation in their understanding and capacity, but that's my job here, to teach and be a pastor to them and to disciple them through the course of the week. Well, I think the exciting thing now is that the vision is more than just America. It started off there, that's where the seed was, but there's a scripture in the Old Testament concerning Joseph where he's recognized as a fruitful branch that goes over the wall. So he has a branch near the well, but it's a branch that goes over the wall. Special touch for a long time was a ministry near the well of the USA, inside the USA, but in recent years the ministry's gone over the wall into the foreign field. So they've gone into Dominican Republic, they've gone to Brazil, they've gone to Ukraine. And so really the ministry is becoming a movement of sorts. That's very exciting for its future. Right, I think this is the main thing that they have to offer, because good people can do this, shall we call it, ministry, and give people a good camp and a good time and relieve their families, but they can't give them the gospel. Only the church can give them the gospel. And so you have a lot of charitable work, but no gospel. And even in church traditions, the gospel has been left behind. So where this ministry is so relevant is that it brings the gospel right to the front of things. And it's all about Jesus, it's all about salvation. And for them to be challenged, because a lot of people don't challenge them because of their disabilities. But this ministry lovingly challenges them to be saved and to know God. Well, I think their program that they have of training is excellent, because they see people who've been with them when they were 14 years of age, who are now caregivers or tech guys. They are coming through the ranks. So they say you have to have somebody in front of you, somebody next to you, and somebody behind you. I think that works well here. You know, if you have a father figure to look up to and a Barnabas to be alongside and a Timothy to bring up, they bring up Timothy's here. And it works. It's an investment of the kingdom and in their lives. So the discipleship is really working well. For my part, when I teach, I don't hold back. I teach them as if there's nothing wrong, so that they get what they should get, and the information from the scriptures that they need, and the revelation that if their hearts can receive it. So I don't hold back, and then that is a discipleship through the week. Right. I think the secret is through the local churches. They have chapters where, you know, local people can get together with a common interest to serve the disabled and the ones with special needs. Those chapels work well. And I think just awareness of church visits. Joe and Charlie do a lot of church visits, and a lot of churches are unaware that they can actually be, they get a certificate also of being like friendly to the special needs people. And I think to also get people to go as volunteers to the summer camps, those things will change their lives. Right, well, I think, as I said, coming here or to one of the summer camps that they've got going, I think is usually the beginning of days for some, because they have sometimes they've had no experience of having people with special needs in their lives. So it's quite a wave actually to overcome when you first come into a summer camp, and the caregivers are very challenged. But they feel so useful that week, and a sense of call comes with that I think is one of the, shall we call it, a recruitment strategy of God, to give them a taste of how useful they can be to that person or to those people for that week. And when they go back home, I think there's a desire to do that again. And so for recruitment, I think that is probably the best way. For financial things, our ministry supports the workers. Whenever they have a mission to Brazil, it all costs money, you know, when they go abroad. So we supply financial funds to help people do that. We provide scholarships also, so that somebody can go free, so to speak, for a week's camp. And we support the ministry on a monthly basis as well as a church. So again, it's church driven. Well, I guess it's the same for everyone who loves God and is called of God. It starts off with a desire to serve God. And then as you serve God over many, many years, you become, in some sense, a sweet prisoner of God, in that you can't do anything else. And so there is that moment of crossover that it's not like a date when it happens, it just happens gradually. And so it's like Paul saying, woe is me if I do not do this, woe is me if I do not preach the gospel. So it's a bit of both. It's a bit of desire to do it and a bit of like, God's called me, so yes sir. Yes, just one thing, I've already touched on it, that people are reluctant to challenge people with disabilities. They see them and they don't know how to maybe encounter them, or certainly they hold back in challenging them. But they need lovingly challenged. They need discipled, of course, but they need challenged because they still have sins like most people. And there are certain things that they need to be helped with and addressed. And so I think we're doing them a disservice if we say, oh, you know, they've got so many problems, let's not touch them in those personal areas. They need the touch and the challenge, a loving challenge, but the challenge of truth in the personal areas, so that they grow. They grow in God, they grow in grace, and they don't feel left behind, that they are treated like everybody else. And I think that is one of the things I would leave as a final remark.
Hi, I'm Pastor Chuck Reish. I'm the executive producer at Horizon Media Studios. It's a 501c3 media ministry, and what we're doing is helping other ministries tell their story. Homeless shelters and children's homes, Bible colleges, seminaries, mission sending agencies. With your help, we can continue to help tell their story, to inspire the world, to shine their light, and let God get the glory for the work that's being done in advancing the kingdom of Jesus Christ. Thanks again for praying for us.